All right. Well, good morning, everyone. We are here on Webster Avenue, one of the most important thoroughfares in the Bronx. And the avenue passes near some of the borough's major institutions, including Montefiore Medical Center, Fordham University, and the New York Botanical Garden. It connects residential areas with large numbers of commuters, and here is where it meets Fordham Road. It runs through one of the busiest commercial districts in the city. Now, much of Webster Avenue is a long walk from the subway, as you know, which means that New Yorkers who live or work near the avenue rely heavily on bus service. And the main bus route through along the avenue is the BX41. It's used by something like 20,000 people on average every weekday. It connects with major transportation hubs at both ends of the North End Gun Hill Road Intermodal Terminal, where 2 subway lines and 5 bus routes meet. And its southern end, the hub at 149th Street and 3rd Avenue, the second busiest subway station in the borough after Yankee Stadium. The bus route also intersects with select bus service here on Fordham Road. It is a critical piece of the Bronx's mass transit network, and so it's no surprise that during the public meetings we held around the borough, members of the community named it a top priority for improved bus service. And I'm happy to say that as of yesterday, service along this route has become faster and more reliable. And that's because the city teamed with the MTA to make this corridor home to the newest select bus service route, the BX41 Select. Now, BX41 Select makes limited stops along Webster and Melrose Avenues. It has many of the same features that have helped our select bus routes chop down commuter times. Riders pay at the curb at automated kiosks before boarding, which allows all 3 bus doors to be used for boarding. New marked bus lanes between 165th Street and Gun Hill Road keep buses and other traffic moving faster. And so it will feature is called Transit Signal Priority that's planned along the route. Sensors tell traffic when buses are approaching intersections, and lights then turn green or stay green longer. And these features will help make the Select ride about 20% shorter than the BX41 limited route it's replacing, which used to take about 45 minutes to get from end to end of the route. And that's roughly the same improvement in travel time we have seen already in our other select bus routes in other locations around the 5 boroughs. Select bus routes are in 4 other places. They work. There's just no question about that. These things, a lot of people were skeptical, but these are working a lot lower times and more ridership, which is a good measure of whether it's a good ways to get around. Along Fordham Road here in the Bronx, on 1st and 2nd Avenues, and on 34th Street in Manhattan, and on Highland Boulevard in Staten Island, we have select bus service, and it's just a great addition. We also expect the BX41 Select to increase ridership along this route. The other select routes, ridership is up about 10% on average, so more people are taking the select route buses, and they clearly are faster. With input from the community, we've also taken steps to make the route safer for pedestrians and motorists. We've repaved the route and added traffic medians that make it safer for pedestrians to cross Webster Avenue. And we'll continue with a second phase of improvements, including curb extensions that make it possible for buses to pick up and drop off passengers without leaving their lanes. You should know that the total cost of bringing this new service to the Bronx was approximately $10 million, but $7 million of that went to street improvements and was largely funded by federal mass transit dollars. We think it is a great investment. The difference between the 7 and the 10, only $3 million that we had to put in. The new service will not only make travel easier and faster around the Bronx, it also is central to our larger efforts to bring new life and economic strength to Webster Avenue. In April, the city unveiled a long-term vision for making the corridor an even greater place to live, work, and visit, and that includes new efforts to spur business development, workforce training, new affordable housing, and investments in public spaces. Faster, more efficient mass transit is a key step towards the vision in our work to spur sustainable development in neighborhoods, not just in the Bronx, but around the city. That's as fast as I can read this to get you out of the rain. And on that note, let me turn the floor over to our Transportation Commissioner, Jeanette Sadik-Khan, who will be brief. Jeanette?
Yes, I will be very brief. Thank you, Mayor Bloomberg, and also it is happy birthday to the Fordham Road BX12, which was the city's first SBS service, which is right up the block, which we launched almost exactly 5 years ago today. And it's good to be back in the Bronx for another needed transit connection. Some 200,000 residents live within a 10-minute walk of Webster Avenue, and they need a transit lifeline. 71% of households in this area do not own a car. And yet, for decades, Webster Avenue has really run through a subway dead zone. It's not close enough to be near any of the subway lines. That actually wasn't the case always. There used to be a number 8 line that ran here on an elevated subway line on 3rd Avenue. And a guy in 1973 said he thought that this would mean that with buses it would be 25 minutes longer. Unfortunately, he was right. But he didn't know about select bus service, and today we are using our streets as the rails for the city's bus system. They work better, they're dedicated stops, off-board fare collection, smart signals. That's what SBS delivers. 8-minute savings for area commuters. They'll save about 100,000 minutes a day total. Minutes that they can spend with their loved ones, with families at school. So when you combine the travel time savings on this route with all the SBS projects that we'll implement this year, there will be 60 million annual riders that will save 578 years of commuting time every year. So we've added 15 lane miles of new streets, 10 pedestrian safety islands. This is the result of a great collaboration, great teamwork with the city, with the MTA. Can't say enough for Daryl Eric and his team. Also, Deputy Commissioner Bruce Schaller, Connie Moran, Eric Beaton, Taylor Reese. It's been a great collaboration, and it's great to be here to launch the BX41, another stop on the way for much better transit service for Bronx riders.
Jeanette, thank you. Next up, the MTA Chairman, Tom Prendergast. I can just tell you, Tom took over at difficult times for the MTA. There's never enough money. People always want more things. He's just been confirmed by the State Assembly and Senate. Both have to confirm you, or only one? Senate confirmed him. And let me tell you, it was the right choice for the Senate to make. This guy, from everybody you talk to, he's worked for the MTA for a long time. People I know in the MTA have nothing but the highest respect for his honesty and his hard work and his professionalism, and the MTA is well served by him. Tom?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Commissioner Sadik-Khan, Councilmember Rivera, and everyone else here today. I'm joined by the President of New York City Transit, Carmen Bianco, as well as the Senior Vice President from Buses, Daryl Eric. It's great to be here in the Bronx today, where we've been working closely with the elected officials and the entire community to strengthen the MTA services we provide to this area. And that's led to real progress for our customers, the kind of progress that expands your transit options, reduces the time you spend waiting, and helps the bus go faster. Earlier this year, we implemented a sweeping package of service investments that restored and extended many critically important bus routes here. We also added new bus service to the Bronx residents in Hunts Point, Barretto Point Park, Concourse Village, and Mott Haven. And now, in addition to the select bus service on the BX12 on Fordham Road, we're bringing SBS to the BX41 on Webster Avenue, one of the borough's busiest corridors. 22,000 daily customers will be seeing 3-door low-floor buses like you see here. 4 miles of dedicated bus lanes, new shelters and sidewalks, off-board fare collection for faster boarding, and transit signal priority. Together, these elements will make your trip up to 15 to 20% faster, and you can use it every day. There's a lot more to spend not riding the bus, time that you will have for yourselves. Our city now has 5 SBS routes with this new addition, and we look to expand more in the future with the great partnership we have with the city of New York. In each case, SBS has proven to be successful, reducing travel times by over 20%. And overall, when you combine SBS with our MTA bus time application, which uses GPS to let you simply look at the cell phone to see exactly where your bus is at, I think it's fair to say we're revolutionizing the bus service that we have in our city. Today, bus time is available for every bus in the Bronx and Staten Island, and it will be available for every bus in New York City by the end of next year. We're bringing all these improvements to the Bronx because we know just how much people here depend on our bus service, and we want to make that service as fast and dependable as possible. I'd also like to thank Governor Cuomo, who's been a great friend and supporter of the MTA as we work together to strengthen our transit network here in the Bronx and throughout our entire state. I'd like to thank you, Mayor Bloomberg and Commissioner Sadik-Khan, for your outstanding support of SBS throughout its entire development. And thank everyone who's worked hand in hand with the MTA to make SBS on Webster Avenue a reality. Now, back to the mayor.
Tom, thank you. And I was remiss in not pointing out that it was the governor that appointed you and deserves a lot of credit for for all of this. The governor's been with us on mass transit for a long time. Councilmember Joel Rivera represents this district. He had a full head of hair when I first met him, but over the years we've beaten him down. He actually, all kidding aside, does a great job for the people of this district. He works as hard as anybody in the city council, and he's always there trying to get more things for his councilmatic district. Joel?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to thank everybody for coming out here on this beautiful, sunshiny day. I want to thank Commissioner of DOT, the Chairman of the MTA, and the Mayor of the City of New York, Mayor Bloomberg, for their focus on how can we improve the transportation experience for the strap hangers in New York City and the Bronx. I think today is a prime example of why we need a more efficient, time-efficient experience. I think that on a rainy day, or on a hot summer day, or on a snowy winter's day, people want to be able to know when their bus is going to be there, know how fast it's going to take them to their destination, and the Select Bus Service, BX41, is going to be able to provide that for Bronxites traveling through this area. I think it's a phenomenal project. I think we need this to be expanded all throughout the Bronx and the city of New York, because it's about a New York minute. How can we save that New York minute and get you to and from your destination in as quickly as possible? And I think this is a phenomenal job. I'll be done in a second because I know we all want to get out of the rain. Just want to say thank you, and I hope that you all have a great day. Thank you.
Joel, thank you. Just let me remind you what the difference here between Select Bus and other services. When you look at buses, that most of the time is spent with a bus stopped waiting for people to pay to get on. That's the big thing, that really it slows everybody down. If you could solve that problem of eliminating that, the buses are much faster. And so here you pay at the kiosk, if you will, you get your ticket, and you get on and you can get off, and you can do it on 3 doors. Yes, there's a handful of people that will try to beat the fare, and they'll get on without a ticket. But we have people going around checking occasionally, random checks, and you get a lot more business that more than makes up for it, and everybody's a beneficiary. Let me also point out that the record for precipitation is 40 days and 40 nights. So this too will stop. You look like you're just getting soaked. Let me just summarize for today's Spanish speakers. Ayer empezamos el servicio de camión selecto en Avenida Webster en el Bronx. El nuevo servicio es más rápido y más flexible, reduciendo el tiempo promedio de viaje por casi 20 minutos. And with that, we'll be happy to take some questions if anybody really seriously wants to drag this out. Yes.